Hello, Unbrick Me here with a look at the LEGO Technic Bugatti Bolide set number 4151. This car impressed me in a lot of ways, but first, let's start with the box. It just shows some cool angles of the car and there's really nothing special about it. Let's open it up and see what's inside. We get 4 numbered bags, a sticker sheet, the awesome building instructions, as well as a large selection of some brand new panels, and the following yellow one looks awesome. These arched panels are printed, which is great. The building process starts with a chassis, and we just need to connect the 90-degree gear module here. This will be used for the hand of God steering, and I love how we started with some gears right off the bat. Next, the following component is connected to the chassis, which we need to rotate so that it connects to the top. Following that, we just add the hand of God steering knob and we build up the roof some more. So far, it looks beautiful. Here comes the fun part. We need to build the W16 engine, which uses the following egg pieces to push the pistons. Look at the way it turns. It is absolutely fascinating. Next, we build the 2 sections, which just use the axles for the pistons. It reminds me a lot of those pin art toys. These simply connect onto the egg section. Now check this out. Look at just how satisfying the engine is. It is easily one of the best ones I've ever seen in any LEGO Technic set. Take a listen to how it sounds. Next, all we need to do is connect the W16 engine to the chassis using some beams. The first bag is complete. The next stage begins by building the rear axle assembly. It simply connects to the car, and now, when we spin the axle, the engine activates. It is so simple, yet at the same time, the engine is fascinating. We need to cover the engine by building the following section, which attaches to the chassis. Now, we just need to widen the chassis. These sections have system pins, and they'll be covered up later. Next, the steering wheel module is attached, which completes the interior. Now comes the fun part, which is building the gear rack steering section. All we need to do is to just secure it to the front portion of the chassis, add a gear, and now we can steer the car using the hand of God knob. A few more decorative modules are added, and the second bag is complete. The third stage begins by building up the bumper, which is actually just 3 sections sandwiched together. Then, it simply connects to the front of the car. We just need to cover the engine from the sides with some panels. There is even a section with the LEGO logo. Isn't that incredible? We do the same on the other side, and then we need to work on the rear section. We also add a few fenders here. The top of the engine will be covered by these panels. They are secured just like that, and the stickers definitely look absolutely beautiful here. The third bag is complete. The fourth stage begins with the rear brake lights, which are built up in an X fashion. We simply need to secure them onto the car. A support for the top of the engine is added with the W16 sticker on either side. A few more panels are added, and we can now work on the front section. We start by adding the openable scissor doors. These flexible axles are added to shape up the windshield. A few more panels are added onto the front, and now the hood is secured, which is then reinforced with even more panels. The front fender printed panels are secured, and we finish off by adding the following system section onto the rear. Now, all we need to do is add the wheels, and we can finally take a look at all of its functions. If you would like to get more early reviews of LEGO Technic sets, such as the Monster Jam Mutt Dalmation, as well as the Dragon, then make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. No pressure though, no pressure. So first, I would like to show you the most exciting feature, which is the W16 engine. When the car is fully built, it is actually barely visible. However, if we take off the top of the engine, we can see the fascinating mechanism. It is just so satisfying to watch, and it makes this car way better than the McLaren Senna GT-R. Now, the only problem with the engine is the way it is connected to the wheels. There is just a single solid axle here. Not only does this car lack a differential, but it lacks the ability for the rear wheels to turn at different speeds. This means that as the car is turning, there is no way for the rear pair of wheels to maintain complete traction on the floor. This is not a major issue for a manual model, but almost every single LEGO Technic set that has steering avoids solid axles, so this is definitely a major drawback. This set also does have hand of God steering, which works as expected. I like how the black gear perfectly blends in with the color scheme of the car. The knob is almost invisible. Interestingly, you can completely see the turning mechanism of the car because the front section isn't covered up much. Personally, I don't think this is a major problem, since I always appreciate it whenever we can see mechanisms inside of a LEGO Technic set. This front section is completely openable, which adds an extra level of playability to the car. The McLaren McLaren Senna GT-R did not have an openable hood. However, I strongly dislike that these panels here are loosely connected, and you can easily turn them. It makes closing the hood quite unpleasant, and I wish that the front section were built in a better way. I am not a fan of the way things are connected here. I am a big fan of the scissor doors though, which just use a single pin for the opening mechanism, much like the McLaren Senna GT-R. After opening these doors, we can take a closer look at the interior, which looks beautiful. However, there is another major flaw with this car, which is that the system brick detailing can be disconnected very easily. In practical play, all it takes is a light touch to disconnect these. I feel like over time, I will end up losing the system detailing because it can fall off so easily. To be fair though, its predecessor, the McLaren Senna GT-R, also had system detailing that could easily fall off. In comparison to the McLaren Senna GT-R, the Bugatti Bolide looks a billion times better, and let's not forget that it has the W16 engine, which is a massive upgrade over the McLaren's V8. Overall, the Bugatti Bolide is an upgrade in every way, from the aesthetics all the way to the mechanisms. I love the black and yellow color scheme. This car looks gorgeous from all sides. So what are the pros as well as the cons of the LEGO Technic Bugatti Bolide? For the advantages, we have the amazing aesthetics. I love the black and yellow color scheme. It looks so awesome and reminds me a lot of the Black and Yellow song, which was also about a black and yellow car. Another huge advantage of the LEGO Technic Bugatti Bolide is that it actually has a W16 engine packed in such a tight space. The designer of the set did a fantastic job, and I'm very happy with the way the engine turned out. It never jams, and it sounds just awesome. For the disadvantages, we have the strange front. I'm not complaining that it looks unfinished or anything like that, but rather, when you open it, you can actually sort of twist the panels, turn them, and loosen everything up. The way everything here is attached is not secure, so it does not result in a good playing experience when you're opening and closing the hood. Another major disadvantage of this car is that it actually has just a single solid axle here that drives the rear pair of wheels that's connected to the engine. The McLaren Senna GT-R, although it did not have a differential, only had one of the wheels connected to the fake engine. This means that as you're turning the car, it's impossible for the rear pair of wheels to have complete traction on the floor or the surface that you're rolling the car on. I really wish that these sort of cars would go back to the Chevrolet Corvette, where they had a differential at the back. Is this set really worth $50? Well, don't let the piece count fool you. Although it is over 900 pieces, so theoretically, according to the 10-cent per piece price rule, it should be $90, right? Well, not exactly. This set is the exact same size as the McLaren Senna GT-R, as well as the Chevrolet Corvette that came before this car. They had way less than 900 pieces. This car just has a lot of tiny panels and a lot of tiny little elements that make up the whole construction, as well as the W16 engine, which also uses a lot of axles and just a lot of pieces that really inflate the piece count. But given that this car does have a W16 engine, as well as many cool different new panels that have been introduced just to this set, I would say that this set is worth it for $50. So yes, you should definitely buy it for $50. This is your Unbreak Me here, and I'll see you in the next one.